I think if you would ask some of the recent presidents, they would tell you one of the most important people at the White House was Roland Mesnier, who was the pastry chef. And he's here today and wore his chef's hat just for us. What a career you've had. I mean, how long were you actually at the White House, Roland?
26 years. I'm very proud of that because I'm actually the longest running chef in the White House. And I'm so honored and proud to have served.
Started with President Carter?
Yes.
And then?
President Reagan, President George Bush Sr., President Clinton, and President George W. Bush.
Well, you've got some wonderful photos. You have these books out now, All the Presidents' Pastries, 25 years in the White House. Picture here of you with what looks like a big Easter egg with Amy Carter.
With Amy Carter, yes. That reminds of a lot of great time here. That was just at the beginning when I just came to the White House, and I was quite amazed by the White House. What a place, you know. It was, for me, such an honor to be there and work there. That's unbelievable.
If there's one thing to be said about your work, it is creative. I notice this looks like a breakfast setting here, bacon and eggs, but I understand these are all pastries that you have made, and it was to honor Bud Sperling,
exactly,
the longtime editor of the Christian Science Monitor, Washington reporter, who was famous for holding these breakfast news conferences with reporters from around town. How did you come up with that?
Well, because when I find out who he was and what he was doing, and I knew that President Clinton, you see, President Clinton always loved to be right on cue and thing, and I thought that would be the best thing to ever reproduce is his breakfast table. That's how people knew him, and the funniest thing, the day we rolled the cake into the dining room, President Clinton was there with all the guests, and we had it on a cart, and in front of the president, we lost the wheel on the cart. So here I was on 4, trying to just fix the cart in front of the guest. That was not a pretty scene, but the cake was okay. Everybody loved the cake. I don't think they ever saw me doing that, but that was a little bit an embarrassing moment for me.
Some of these things are just extraordinary. I mean, here you are with Hillary Clinton when she was First Lady Hillary Clinton, not Secretary of State. Yes. And these are what, gingerbread?
All gingerbread house. That was the Mount Vernon, the first White House, the Washington Monument, and the Jefferson Monument that we can see in the back. And all that was achieved in a very short period of time because we just did not have the time, you see. And that night was quite an incredible day. You know, at the White House, for that, we worked 24 hours no stop to serve all the guests that had been invited in the White House. That was an amazing day.
Now, how long would it take you to do something like that?
A creation like this took about 3 weeks work.
3 weeks?
3 weeks work. And several people working on it, maybe 4 or 5 people.
Now, here's the late Benazir Bhutto who came, and she liked your work.
She was a wonderful lady, and I'm so sad to know what happened later on in her life. But yes, she came to see me in my pastry shop after lunch that she had with Mrs. Clinton and other guests. And she made a special request that day. She asked Mrs. Clinton if she could take me home with her. And I would have liked to be honest. You know, a change of scenery. And Mrs. Clinton said, listen, you can have anything you like. Piece of furniture, whatever you see. But you cannot take Roland back home. He here's to stay. I took that as a very nice compliment.
There are so many pictures here, so many memories. Here is here's one with the Clintons, and this is a gingerbread house. This was Bill Clinton's house?
Exactly, where he was born and raised, and we duplicated out of gingerbread totally. And you know, when he saw the house for the first time, I saw the president having a little tear coming down on the corner of his eye. He was very touched that we had done that for him for Christmas. Truly, he was touched.
Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan?
Yes, absolutely wonderful. Loved President Reagan's humor. Always had something very nice to say to the staff. Always in good mood, always in great humor. But Mrs. Reagan was a true perfectionist. Everything had to be just the way she wanted it. As we used to say in the White House, is Nancy's day or the highway.
Nancy's way or the highway. And here are the first George Bush and Barbara Bush.
Wonderful.
What was it like to cook for them?
You know, the Bush family is a traditional American family with the kids and the dog and everybody. And Mrs. Bush, a fantastic first lady, always told you what she thought. As you know, she don't go around the band if she has to tell you something. And if she would see me somewhere around the White House, maybe chit-chatting with someone, she would always come and smack me on my arm, said, Roland, don't you have any cookies to bake?
And here is the more recent George Bush and Laura Bush.
I appreciate them a lot. And President George W. Bush is very much like his mother, speaks exactly, tell you what he thinks and what he sees. And I've missed all of them, to be honest. The 26 years in the White House went very fast. It looks like a long time, but it was actually a short time. And I've loved every single family dearly, I must say, and miss them all. I'm still worried about them, what they're eating at night when I'm not here.
This George Bush had a little sweet tooth, didn't he?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. As a matter of fact, it's funny. All the presidents served a sweet tooth. But when they came to the White House first, they would say, we don't really care for sweet. But within 2 weeks, that was totally changed. I got them hooked bad.
Do you think you'll ever go back?
I doubt it, but I always like to visit. That's always nice. But now I kind of started something else by traveling all over the United States, which I never did before, and love to see this great, beautiful country. America is absolutely the best in the world, in every shape or form. I'm just in love with this country. It's beautiful. So now I have the chance to travel and visit and meet so many beautiful people everywhere. Otherwise, before that, I was pretty much locked into the White House and work, which this is what I was supposed to do. And I always used to say, if they want to see me, they know where to find me, in my pastry shop.
All right. Roland Mesnier, the book is All the Presidents Pastries, 25 Years at the White House. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. The honor is all mine. Thank you.